Okaloosa Island, the heart of Florida's Emerald Coast.
They keep us busy.
Duck fishing.
They keep us entertained. They keep us inspired. They keep us hopeful and happy. Keep them safe. The 8-passenger Chevrolet Traverse with the highest possible overall vehicle score for safety. Chevrolet, find new roads.
We're responding to the report of a vessel where no one is on board, about 15 miles off the CR. Fishing vessel Pegasus called and said that a vessel ran through their gear and just kept going. There's nobody on board, nobody responding to horns. So they're worried about the persons on board. Maybe it might be a medical situation, or who knows. We're en route, and once we get on scene, we'll reevaluate what our plan's going to be.
Kind of blows.
Yeah, choppy.
This will be a good one. Oh, that went in my ear somehow. Oh, God.
Wow. Tough conditions.
Oh, yes. And Chief Jeremiah Wolf is one of the Coast Guard members whose tireless work is highlighted there on our show, Coast Guard Cape Disappointment, Pacific Northwest.
And Chief Wolf joins us now from Station Cape Disappointment with more on what his job entails. Chief, good to have you on the show. Tell us just what an average day is like for you on Station Cape Disappointment. Yeah, I think we're having a couple of technical difficulties connecting, but hopefully we can get those resolved. And I've watched, all of the Cape Coast Guard shows, and they're all tremendous. The conditions and they're sort of a glutton for punishment. The weather, they go out and they love it, and it takes a special kind of Jim Cantore-esque person to do that. Yeah.
We just saw the video. Yeah. There's the ship bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
Oof, that's a tough one.
All right, so the Pacific Northwest, the area that we're going to be talking about actually is known as the graveyard of the Pacific. So I think this is a particularly tough area to work in for the Coast Guard.
Exactly. So hopefully we can get him back up and find out exactly why they call it the graveyard of the Pacific.
I know, exactly. Certainly cold water temperatures and all the storms that blow in through here have got to be part of it. All right, I think we have him back. Chief Wolf, are you there?
I am. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning. Good to have you. So we've been talking a little bit about what a day would be like up there on Cape Disappointment. Can you tell us what an average day is like for you?
Absolutely. We wake up at about 4 o'clock in the morning. We get our boat crews ready, and then we head out on the Columbia River Bar. And what we're doing out there is evaluating the bar conditions and passing that weather to the mariners that are going to be going out, maybe salmon fishing, or the commercial fishermen that cross the bar. We're passing the weather, and we're also placing restrictions on the bar for recreational boats when it's too difficult or too dangerous out there for them to operate on the bar. So that starts at, oh, go ahead.
I was just to mention, we were talking about the graveyard of the Pacific. There's an area that's known as that. Why is that region earned that name?
Well, Alex, it's a very difficult place to operate for any boater, whether it's a seasoned boater like us in the Coast Guard or someone that's just taken their boat out for the first time. The currents that we experience here can be upwards of 6 knots, and 1 knot of current is equal to about 30 knots of wind. So you can imagine being out there in 120 knots of wind and what that would do to your boat, pushing you. There's rocks, there's pilings, and not to mention the swell that comes in. When all those forces come together, it's a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah, when you chose to be in the Coast Guard, did you realize the kind of weather you'd have to be dealing with?
No, I didn't. When I joined the Coast Guard, I came from Southern California, having never even gone out on a boat. And the Coast Guard really did their job preparing me and training me up to where I am now. So.
All right. Well, Chief Wolf, thank you so much for joining us, and I can't wait to watch tomorrow night the season finale.
That's right. So make sure you check it out.
All right. Coast Guard Cape Disappointment, Pacific Northwest, is at 9 o'clock Eastern Time right here on the Weather Channel. And we are keeping our eyes right now on Tropical Storm Bertha this morning as it brings heavy rain and high winds to the islands in the Caribbean.
Yeah, just ahead, Dr. Greg Postel is going to stop by to show us where it's headed next and some of the other systems in the tropics we're tracking.
Here's to the man who truly is the best of us.
Who really has the key to the city? With best-in-class payload and best-in-class cargo capacity and an unsurpassed powertrain warranty, you run the town. The all-new Ram ProMaster. Guts, glory, Ram.
She's still the one for you. And Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
make fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready?
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, variably cloudy with scattered thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
What do astronauts eat?
Have lunch with one and find out. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
So, you say men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Then how'd I get this?
Safe driving bonus check. Every 6 months without an accident, Allstate sends a check. Okay. Silence. Are you in good hands?
If you're taking multiple medications, does your mouth often feel dry? A dry mouth can be a side effect of many medications, but it can also lead to tooth decay and bad breath. That's why there's Biotene. Available as an oral rinse, toothpaste, spray, or gel, Biotene can provide soothing relief, and it helps keep your mouth healthy, too. Remember, while your medication is doing you good, a dry mouth isn't. Biotene, for people who suffer from dry mouth.
Man, these cheesy bread dogs are incredible.
Real good.
The cheese is baked right into the bun.
You know, in this case, it really is what's on the outside that counts.
Maybe that phrase, it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't true.
I mean, I've only been judging books by their covers.
Really?
I only read the cover.
Oh, you don't read what's inside?
No. I could read 2, 3 covers. Cover to cover. Cover and cover.
Count on the cheesy goodness of the new Cheesy Bread Dogs. They're the perfect match for any of our 25 shakes. This is how you Sonic.
What does a 37 million horsepower launch feel like?
Experience it for yourself. Only at Kennedy Space.
I voted for culture with a K.
How are you? I voted for plausible deniability.
I didn't kill her, David.
And I voted for decisive military action.
America, you cast your votes.
Now go to Xfinity On Demand and select the People's Hot List to see this summer's top 100 shows and movies.
I voted!
No matter how much I loved my mother or my sisters or my wife, none of that mattered because they always came second to heroin. Everything did.
I didn't know at the time the power that the drugs had over him, and I was so afraid of losing him, and I knew enough about B-Hop, and I knew what they could do. To me, it's amazing. It's almost like I wish somebody would pinch me and make sure that, I'm not dreaming.
If someone you know is struggling with drug or alcohol addiction, please call or visit us at interventionnow.com.
To get a free brochure. 1-800-382-1905.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a Hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Well, it's a brand new video of Bertha's impact in the Caribbean. Seas starting to get a little rough and winds picking up there in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. The DR was under a tropical storm warning. I was just there a couple of months ago enjoying my time on the fantastic beaches there.
You know what? I think it's kind of cool that you went to the DR for your summer vacation. I went to the Turks and Caicos, and both are being affected by Bertha. Let's bring in Dr. Greg Postel. Greg, where have you traveled? Have you been to any of these islands lately? Because we might be bad luck.
No, I haven't been anywhere in a long time, but that video is kind of funny because, trust me, the weather was worse there than what we showed. Yeah. It does not look like tropical storm.
No. Bertha, we saw some video from
it was worse than
the Virgin Islands, and the winds did get quite strong.
No, I know.
You get these squalls that last like an hour, and they come through, and it's really tough for about at least an hour or two.
It was worse than that. Now, they had gusts over 50 miles per hour. I mean, there was a lot of rain and trees. It was that was not representative of what Bertha went through when it went through the tropics. Let's have a look now at this is the latest advisory. 45 mile per hour on the winds here and moving northwest to 21. This is the 11 o'clock advisory, and the discussion that came out with this that said, maybe there are some signs it's getting perhaps a little bit better organized. The hurricane hunters have been flying around in there and saw some new storms flare up not far from where they think the center of rotation is. It's not clear still if this has a low-level circulation, a closed one, but there is enough sort of empirical evidence and circumstantial evidence to suggest that maybe there is, and they thought that this is maybe on a track to strengthen during the day today. And for a whole bunch of reasons, it really does need that low-level circulation to intensify. So that's why they've kind of had somewhat of an attention placed on that. But in the bigger picture, there's Bertha. There's the cluster of storms over the Bahamas and eastern Florida, and that is associated with a couple of different things. There's a front right there and a tropical wave right there. So those two in combination are providing some unsettled weather there. And guess what? As Bertha maybe gets a little closer, perhaps those two interact just a little bit and enhance some of the rainfall here. Look, this is the rain right now. This is non-Bertha rain, but we got a lot of lightning offshore, not too far away from the coast of southern Florida. So there's not likely good beach weather there. Be careful of all the lightning strikes, and watch Bertha's progress as we move through the morning hours. There it is, and it is going to be on that northwestward to northward track during the evening tonight. It'll still be way offshore. The center will be probably 400 miles off the coast. And for all intents and purposes, really, the impacts from Bertha will not be felt. The direct ones, not on the Florida coast, not on the East Coast really at all. But perhaps, some of the rainfall that we saw down here earlier this evening might have some sort of extended relationship to Bertha, but that's about it. And by, tomorrow evening, that's where Bertha's going out to sea. Here's where the tropical storm force winds of over 40 miles per hour we think are going to be. The odds of that happening are pretty small, of tropical storm force winds in the Bahamas, generally less than 20%, and even smaller than that on the Outer Banks right there, 5% chance. So really, the worst action, the highest likelihood of tropical storm force winds is way out to sea, even off, not even going to hit, I don't think, Nova Scotia at all. It's going to remain way out to sea over the North Atlantic, probably interfering with shipping lanes. But that's about it. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
All right, well, we've got one more thing that we want to show you.
Everyone loves a trip to the water park in the summer, right? It's a fun way to beat the heat and cool off, but who knew that river otters are the same way?
Yeah, check it out. These river otters live in a zoo in Ichikawa City, Japan, just outside of Tokyo. These guys have a great time. They hit the pool and the water slides to cool off there, and well, you know, they're known to be social and playful animals, and they are certainly doing that, as you can see.
But they're not counting to 5, you know, before the next one goes down, right? You're supposed to have like 5 seconds in between each one.
I don't think they have those rules.
No, I guess they can't count. Anyway, they were built for them 2 years ago, and it's a good thing. Japan is in the midst of a heat wave right now with no signs of letting up. Several cities will get to 95 degrees and above. They got there already last week, and it's going to continue.
All right, so fun in the sun and enjoying their time there. All right, well, thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday morning here with us.
We've got Keith Carson and Kate Parker coming up in just 60 seconds. They're standing by, ready to take you through the rest of your day. And, of course, we'll have all the latest on the thunderstorms that are interrupting your Sunday plans and also Tropical Storm Bertha.
That's right. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, variably cloudy with scattered thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Now on Weather Center Live, Bertha on the move. A look at where the storm is headed now and the areas feeling the biggest impacts.
And here we go again. Another day, another round of storms and showers. The areas where you'll be reaching back into the back of your closet for those rain boots today.
All right, and get ready to say goodbye to summer as the kids head back to the classroom. Will the weather cooperate? Plus a look at the forecast as you finish the last days of shopping. Weather Center Live starts right now. Hey, thanks for joining us on Weather Center Live. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Kate Parker.
Hey, a lot ahead on Weather Center Live. Let's talk about, you know, the tropics, obviously, is our #1 story. Bertha, not Big Bertha, Little Bertha.
Yeah, Little Bertha, and kind of one of those storms where you're like, is it a tropical storm?
Trying to play on the safe side for now.
We have some new satellite information in, so we're looking at some of that.
Yeah, and the latest advisory also from the National Hurricane Center that was just released a few minutes ago. And basically, they think maybe a little bit more organization with this as opposed to, say, the past 24 hours. Winds at 45 miles an hour is actually down from yesterday afternoon. Pressure at 10-12 millibars, which, again, you know, as far as a tropical system goes, is relatively high in the pressure department. Movement northwest at 21 miles an hour.
Yeah, so it's moving pretty quickly, but it really has been a question with this storm. Is it or is it not actually a tropical storm? The characteristics have not necessarily always been there. So we want to get to the very latest what's happening with this storm. We're going to head to our expert desk.
Yeah, Dr. Greg Postel standing by. Dr. Postel, break it down for us.
Yeah, we have a lot of thunderstorms with Bertha right now moving through parts of the Caribbean, the Turks and Caicos. There's a little bit more thunderstorm activity now than there was earlier today, but overall the system hasn't strengthened. It didn't strengthen last night. It hasn't strengthened this morning. We see sort of a scattering of thunderstorm activity all across the region. And you guys were talking about is it or is it not? And, you know, for I guess impact purposes, it doesn't really matter right now. It's got a lot of rain and some strong winds with it, but the question is it poised to strengthen further? And, you know, it may be, and we just have to wait and see because it's going to be moving over warmer water. And the aircraft hunters were in there, the hurricane hunters, and they did find some west winds at about 1,500 feet. They were not very strong, albeit they were only about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But they thought that, you know, with that and some of the other data that they've had in mind and keeping a persistence to it, they they decided to call it, go ahead, keep it a tropical storm, 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm Bertha, on its way northwestward, I might add, toward an area of unsettled weather that's already in place across the Bahamas, with an old front there and a tropical wave. So there may be some interaction, at least to some degree, over parts of the Bahamas today as they get a little bit closer together, and that may enhance some rainfall across the region. But Bertha is going to sort of itself is going to remain well off the coast, 400 miles, we think, east of Miami overnight tonight, on its way northward and then northeastward from there. It's got a shot at strengthening here. The waters are warm, the upper level winds are light, the atmosphere, at least immediately around it, will be sufficiently moist to allow that to happen. But, you know, we'll still have to wait and see. Here's the cone from the Hurricane Center. This is where the center is going to track, likely inside of that cone. Their official forecast brings it up to 60 tomorrow morning and then 70 on Tuesday morning, but far enough offshore to not have any impact on the East Coast, guys, because it is such a small storm. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Postel, for that. Let's take a look at what's going on in Boston right now, my hometown area. Looking a little cloudy right now, 66 degrees. Some boats out there in the Charles River, though, this morning. See a few showers through the morning hours, and it's just a little unsettled across the Northeast through early week. That was the case through most of the weekend, and will continue to be the case now as we head into the work week. Here's a few showers. Now moving out over Boston Harbor towards the 128, 495 belt. It's relatively dry right now. This is all really light stuff. If you zoom in, you can see a few showers over Connecticut, maybe moving towards Rhode Island, but most of the moisture, at least at this hour, is offshore. So if you want to get outside for a couple hours across New England, you should be okay this morning. We'll see more showers and storms pop up later this afternoon. A separate area of showers and storms off to the west here with an upper level disturbance. So in through Pittsburgh and through Cleveland, Elmira, New York, which is a real pretty town, by the way, Buffalo, some showers out there as well. Again, all light stuff, but instability around. So today, we think it'll be focused around that upper level low. A few showers over southern New England and a few in the mountains of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. But again, it shouldn't be a ruiner of your day. Just check the radar before you go out or check in with us and we'll let you know what's going on. It's relatively quiet at the moment. By tomorrow, the showers become confined more into New England. So you've got central Massachusetts in through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And then on Tuesday, another little spoke of energy breaks off across upstate New York. So Burlington, Albany, all the way down into Boston, a chance of showers. You notice we kept it dry along the coastline. A lot of times these showers die as they go downhill out of the mountains, so they don't make it down into coastal locations. So that would probably be the case Boston, Portland, up through the mid-coast of Maine. So Boston looking okay tomorrow. More thunderstorms on Tuesday. It's going to remain unsettled till late in the week, but silver lining is the weekend. I know we're looking way ahead, but next weekend at this point looks pretty good. Kate?
Well, how about we head to LA, where they have not seen a lot of rain. Keith, a very different story here. Take a look. A little bit wet this morning. It is looking like it's so quiet there because of the rain. Now, you have had some storms. That's not it's not to say that you've been without rain, because we had that lightning strike out at Venice Beach just a few weeks ago. So you know that you have seen some rain. It's just so low compared to what's typical for this time of year. Let's break down what's going on in the west, because we are going to see some more storms through the early part of the week. But look at what's happening in LA. So 5.13 inches of rain so far this year. On average, you would be over 10.5 inches of rain, so you're way below average. Yesterday, you got a little bit, just 0.2 of an inch there, but that was the first measurement of rain since back in April. You haven't had any rain. This is the bad news. Look at this. So in California, we're looking at the drought monitor here. The very latest is that 58% of the state is in exceptional drought. Last week, we were only at 36%, an 18% jump there. Just tremendous amount of drought. This is welcome news. I know that you may have weekend plans on this Sunday, but we need this rain. From Barstow all the way to Bakersfield, we're getting some right now. It's very slow and soaking. This is exactly what we need to let the ground absorb it. The bad news is we don't want any of these yellows. We don't want any of these heavier downpours, because that's when we start to see flooding concerns like we saw in Albuquerque recently. So that is going to be a little bit of a concern. We're going to watch for that flood risk. But thunderstorms, you know, in the forecast, that is great news for this part of the country. We badly need to start pulling ourselves out of the drought. Tomorrow, we don't get quite as many in California, but we get several through Utah, into Colorado, and then down into New Mexico with all that monsoonal moisture, Keith.
All right, thanks, Kate. Well, storms are firing up around the country today and sticking around as thousands of kids head back to school tomorrow. See if you should pack that umbrella with your child to start the week.
Don't wait for super awesome. Totino's Pizza Rolls get you there in just 60 seconds.
Great rates for great rides. Geico Motorcycle. See how much you could save.
They keep us busy.
Duck fishing.
They keep us entertained. They keep us inspired. They keep us hopeful and happy. Keep them safe. The 8-passenger Chevrolet Traverse with the highest possible overall vehicle score for safety. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hundreds of amateur astronomers gather at Cherry Springs to catch a glimpse of the stars in the Milky Way. They turn to the Weather Channel forecast to find clear skies and low humidity for the best views of the cosmos.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Brought to you by Terminex, fighting a war against pests for over 85 years.
Our oath isn't an empty gesture. It's the heart and soul of Terminex Nation. The Terminex Ultimate Protection Guarantee. 100% satisfaction or your money back. Not here, not now, not in my house. Terminex.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds Candy. This is how you Sonic.
Untamed fruit flavor. Jolly Rancher.
Let's tackle all this with a splash of style. Let's go where they know what matters. Let's do modest budget. Major makeover. Let's do we've got this. And a whole lot of look what we did. Then let's sit back and enjoy the view. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. For a limited time, shop our newest vanities starting at just $189.
Need new tires? At Pep Boys, our Tires Made Easy process matches your vehicle with the tire that's just right for you. And right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 select tires, you'll get the 4th tire free. Trust the boys to get you there.
Well, the sound of bells will be heard tomorrow morning as kiddos head back to the classroom. We want to go ahead and get you right into your back-to-school forecast. Here's what we've got going on. So you'll notice that we've got showers and thunderstorms hanging out coastal South Carolina, North Carolina, and it's a real soaker there. That's for Monday morning when the kids are heading off. It'll be nice in Atlanta, though, 70 degrees. It will get warm during the afternoon, so make sure those kids are dressed appropriately as they head home from the bus stop. You may want to put a little sunscreen on them. Here's what we've got going on Monday morning in the Midwest. If you're heading back to school, Wisconsin will be just a little bit wet. Chicago will be about 72 degrees on Monday morning, so not bad. You don't have to bundle the kids up. You are going to see those temperatures in Indianapolis go from the low 60s to the mid 80s. So I don't know, a light sweater might not be a bad idea so the kids can shed it whenever they're heading home from school, and an umbrella may be necessary, maybe some rain boots even in places like Salt Lake City Monday morning for the kiddos heading back, because we have some rain and a little bit of thunder in the forecast out west.
Use that kiddos liberally. Sprinkled it in liberally. Well, summer's coming into an end, kind of, for kids, I guess. It's August 3rd. But there's still some weekend events around, musical events.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about the fun that's happening today. Lollapalooza. I so badly wanted to go to this.
Today I looked up, it was the Abbott Brothers, and then the rest of them, I'm too old to know.
Well, no, there's some there's like the Airborne Toxic event.
What?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
It's not anything that you guys need to be concerned about. It's a ban.
I'll Google it later.
It sounds like something
Anyways,
we would report on
some
here.
Some thunderstorms around this afternoon. Should be nice by later on tonight. Usually the best acts go on later on in the evening. How about some Yaz Flute?
Yeah, a little Yaz.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, in Newport, you've got the Yaz Festival, a.k.a. Jazz Fest, which is much less fun to say. But it does look like it's going to be a little rainy for the first part of the afternoon. By the time we get later and closer to dinner, I think we're going to be seeing some breaks of sun, and we're going to see a couple clouds, and their temperatures look pretty nice, though. Maybe a light sweater. Highs only around 70 there, so that's good news. That's in Rhode Island, so have fun there. It doesn't look too shabby for some of the country, Keith, but, I mean, other parts are just getting soaked.
Yeah, you're right about that. By the way, Newport, Rhode Island is a beautiful, beautiful town. They have all those old mansions right on the water there. All right, let's talk about what's going on in your 7-day forecast. Yeah, it's unsettled across the northeast, down across the southeast today. Very similar to what we saw yesterday. Nicest weather in the central plains, maybe back into Texas. They need rain there. Not going to get it, though, in the next couple of days. Through tomorrow, still some showers across northern New England, down across the southeast, so southern and central Georgia, down across Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and down into Florida. Meanwhile, you know, in the southwest, we've had a lot of flash flood watches and warnings that have been going on with some heavy rain there. So that shower activity will continue through Monday, Tuesday. Now we have a front draped all the way across the Midwest, so a few showers in here. This system, though, coming from Canada, doesn't have much moisture, so we're just looking at light showers. Places like Chicago, maybe up to Minneapolis, probably mainly to the south of them. By Wednesday, nothing really changes, still with this front stalled out all the way now into Boston and New York City with showers there, drying out in a place like Atlanta. And again, Thursday, this is not that it's going to be raining in this area the entire time, but there'll be some showers around. We'll start to get a ridge of high pressure building down on Friday, so the Midwest looking better into the Northeast on Friday. And next weekend, again, early shot looks real nice. Places like Boston, New York, down into D.C. Kate?
Well, Keith, Tropical Storm Bertha continues to push through the Caribbean, and as it starts to make its way north, we're tracking the very latest. Dr. Greg Postel, he's going to have all of the updated information for us on this storm next and how it could affect your weather closer to home.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down the tread and wearing out safety, leaving worried drivers with no choice but to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man, who proved the right tire changes everything, putting those drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find the right tire for you at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Introducing the premier all-season tire, providing your family with enhanced safety in all seasons.
In the nation, the safest feature in your car is you. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving, which for you shouldn't be a problem. Just another way we put members first, because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
Ours is a world of passengers. The red eyes.
I'm really tired.
transfers.
Well, that's kid number 3.
The co-pilots. All sitting, trusting, waiting for a safe arrival. Introducing the all-new Subaru Legacy, designed to help the driver and you care for the passenger and them. The Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
Do you remember the hassle of vacuuming before the Dyson Digital Motor? Before it gave the DC59 Motorhead powerful suction and perfect balance in your hand for cleaning those difficult-to-reach places? And before our direct drive cleaner head increased brush bar power by 75%, DC59 Motorhead outcleans the 5 best-selling full-size vacuums across carpets and hard floors without the hassle of a cord.
Hundreds of amateur astronomers gather at Cherry Springs to catch a glimpse of the stars in the Milky Way. They turn to the Weather Channel forecast to find clear skies and low humidity for the best.
Let me tell you a story about 2 typical American couples. There's John and Joan, who could use some financial help, but they're worried and have some misconceptions about reverse mortgages. Like they might not qualify if they have an existing mortgage, and that it could mean giving up their home. But take Sandy and Greg. They're just like John and Joan, but they called AAG, and learned that a reverse mortgage was government insured, tax-free, and that they'd always retain complete ownership of their home. They also learned that most people use a reverse mortgage to eliminate their existing monthly mortgage payments, and that AAG is America's trusted reverse mortgage lender with a 93% customer satisfaction rate. So join Sandy, Greg, and 500,000 other Americans.
Call 1-800-660-8341 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-660-8341 today.
4-6.
Premier Bath is the best gift I ever gave to myself.
Weather Geeks, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain, 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 76. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, check this out. A road in Puerto Rico washed away from Bertha. The heaviest rains fell yesterday in the western mountains and obviously causing some problems there. Luckily, that's pretty much the worst of what we've seen from this storm so far. Let's get the latest on that. And we go now to our expert, Dr. Greg Postel.
Keith, thank you very much. We have the latest advisory from Tropical Storm Bertha. This is as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Still a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm moving toward the northwest at 21 miles per hour. It did not strengthen this morning, did not strengthen last night, but we're going to be monitoring it closely. It's over some very warm waters, and we'll just see how that plays out in the intensification, if at all, with Bertha. What we've got here on the visual satellite pictures is a center of circulation, at least aloft, somewhere in here over the Turks and Caicos. It's, I think, spinning around a pretty well-defined circulation, maybe a few thousand feet above the ground. The question is, does it have that spin at the surface? And we don't know for sure, but the idea is that there's been some observations here in the Turks and Caicos, Pine Cay and Regent Grand, that have had a west-southwest wind now for a little while. So I think there is at least some evidence to suggest that that circulation is closed, not just aloft, but at the ground. And for a whole bunch of reasons, not just one, but a whole bunch of them, that's kind of a necessary condition for this thing to strengthen further. We'll see if that indeed does happen, but right now, I don't think if it does, it's going to happen fast because the environment overall is not that favorable, at least today. There is Bertha, and it's going to be moving toward the northwest and probably interacting at least to some sort of extended extent with this front here across parts of Florida and an old tropical wave that's moved in. So those two are producing some showers and storms there. And Bertha may get close enough to, at least on its outer periphery, help enhance some of that thunderstorm activity in the Bahamas. But the core of Bertha is going to remain well out to sea. You can see it swirling around here. By late this afternoon and tonight, it is going to be heading north and maybe even northeastward overnight tonight, hundreds of miles east of the Florida coast. It's going to continue on that track and then begin to turn toward the northeast during the late afternoon and evening tomorrow on a track that will keep its direct impacts way offshore of the United States. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Dr. P. Well, the rising water levels at Florida's Lake Okeechobee may prompt more water releases this summer. And that's something that's common during hurricane season as tropical rains fill the lake and bring the threat of flooding.
But here's the deal. As I found out, both living down there and going down there for this story, to combat one problem, environmentalists say many more are being created. It's surrounded by coastline, but one of Florida's biggest water concerns is 40 miles inland, here at Lake Okeechobee.
The water can flow into Lake Okeechobee about 6 times faster than it can be released.
Water levels here are closely monitored, especially during the rainy tropical season when the lake can quickly fill, causing the protective dike to fail. That's exactly what happened back in 1928 during the Okeechobee hurricane that killed over 2,500 people and destroyed hundreds of square miles of farmland. The threat still exists today, and when water levels get too high, the Army Corps of Engineers plans water releases to the east and the west.
As water increases, certainly the risks increase as well.
But others call these releases killing floods.
It's a poison. It's a pollution.
Marty Baum says the freshwater release from the lake travels through miles of farmland, picking up fertilizers and chemicals that threaten the lagoon.
In 5 months, we got 136 billion gallons of water, 6,800 metric tons of sediment, 66 metric tons of nitrogen, and 660-something metric tons of phosphorus.
The influx of fresh water combined with the chemicals spells danger for wildlife.
It is almost like a toilet flushing. We end up poisoning the marine life.
The Army Corps of Engineers says that it sees all sides, but right now, solutions are limited.
It's our obligation to reduce the risk of flooding. Managing water here in South Florida is very difficult because the project that we have serves multiple purposes, and it's not a perfect system. So by improving performance for one project purpose, you may very likely decrease performance for another project purpose. It really is the only option right now.
Definitely a tough one there, and the Army Corps of Engineers is looking for other solutions, but the federal money that has been approved to build storage tanks to hold water from heavy releases and drain it at a slower rate is still years from completion. And Keith, you know, having lived down there, there is a clean water rally going on today for the Indian River Lagoon because you can't go in the water. The bacteria in there is actually making it so humans can't go in there. It's killing manatees, dolphins. It's a big problem.
That's not good for business. All right, thanks for that story. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Sometimes the best used car on the road is the one you're still using. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
Is your car ready to demolish the rain? Whatever you drive a Firestone.
Many of my patients still clean their dentures with toothpaste, but they have to use special care in keeping the denture clean. Dentures are very different to real teeth. They're about 10 times softer and may have surface pores where bacteria can multiply. Polident is designed to clean dentures daily. Its unique microclean formula kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria and helps dissolve stains, cleaning in a better way than brushing with toothpaste. That's why I recommend using Polident.
Polident. Cleaner, fresher, brighter every day.
This time of year, you just need some fertilizer with weed control and a spreader to distribute it evenly. It's not rocket horticulture.
Oh, thank you. It's not rocket grilling either, right, guys?
Getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Some question physics. Some question gravity. And some even have the audacity to question improbability. These are some of the bold new Ram commercial trucks, built to blow your imagination. Guts, glory, Ram.
Hey, I'm Ted, and this is Rudy. Say hi, Rudy. I'd do anything to keep this guy happy and healthy. That's why I'm so excited about these new Milk-Bone brushing chews. I'm not the only one. It's a brilliant new way to take care of his teeth. Clinically proven as effective as brushing. Okay, here you go. Have you ever seen a dog brush his own teeth? The twist and nub design cleans all the way down to the gum line, even reaching the back teeth. They taste like a treat, but they clean like a toothbrush. Nothing says you care like a Milk-Bone brushing chew.
As a peach grower, I know the tastiest fruit is the freshest fruit. I know that what goes into this soil will affect these trees. And I know how to spot that perfect moment of ripeness. I also know in farming, nothing is more important than your reputation. That's why my peaches go to Walmart. Their produce experts work with me to help make sure you only get the freshest peaches, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
Picked by farmers, guaranteed by us.
Hundreds of amateur astronomers gather at Cherry Springs to catch a glimpse of the stars in the Milky Way. They turn to the Weather Channel forecast to find clear skies and low humidity for the best views of the cosmos.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Kay Parker.
And I'm Keith Carson, and we made them shoot it so we can show on our fancy shoes.
I put on heels just for him, so, so that you could see his shoes. I was like, wearing flats, folks.
I didn't buy these suede-looking things for nothing. Hey, we're going to talk about Bertha because Bertha, you know, it's going to be an out-to-sea storm for most people, but it's shown a little bit more organization as of late, so that's something to talk about as of the 11 o'clock advisory. And our boy Michael Lowry actually just tweeted something out about it looking a little bit more organized. So there it is right there. Winds at 45 miles an hour. As of the 11 a.m. advisory, it is still a tropical storm, so we're continuing to watch that. We're also seeing some pretty cool images from the tropical storm. These are waves we're about to show you here at Livongo Cay, right there, just kind of rolling on shore. And the biggest impacts we saw actually were from the rain, some flooding rains. And remember, we'd love to see any images you have from Bertha. You can upload it to our Facebook page, or you can also tweet it at us. So we'll continue to look at that. It's always good to see kind of what we call ground truth out there as far as what's really going on. But again, yeah, some big waves may interrupt some shipping lanes as Bertha goes up the eastern seaboard, but for the most part, this will be an out-to-sea storm, and the biggest impacts over Puerto Rico were from the very heavy rainfall in the western mountains of Puerto Rico, and that's something that we watched yesterday. Kate?
All right, let's go ahead and check out what's going on with some storms elsewhere. Let's go to New Orleans now, where right now you can see a little bit of sunshine, just a little bit, I'd say. Oh, look at that family crossing the street. Nice sunny skies for them. We are going to see some rain, though. Let's talk about and break down what's expected in the southeast. For New Orleans, you are expecting to see some thunderstorms really increasing by the time we get to Tuesday this week. So I would say that today is a great day to get outside and enjoy it. 88 degrees, mix of sun and clouds, but the remaining remainder of the week, you're going to see those hit or miss storms. And here's why. This pattern is shifting. We've got a nice little dip in the jet stream, and it's hanging out. But here's the problem. We've also got a stalled out front, and it can't budge thanks to that dip. So what's going to happen is that we're going to stay in this area of moisture where we're going to see a lingering shower and thunderstorm activity each and every day as we go all the way throughout pretty much the majority of this next week. And if you are living or if you're trying to vacation, North Carolina, boy, do you know it, South Carolina as well, you are just getting a soaker over the last several days. We've seen a tremendous amount of rainfall. This is stretching now all the way up into portions of Virginia. We're going to be watching a little bit of that as well, just that far southeastern portion. All along the coast, though, you are wet. You've got thunder offshore. Hatters, you are getting just battered this morning with rain. Wilmington, no better there either. If you're driving through any of these areas, if you're planning on going on vacation, remain aware that you have a flood watch in effect. So as you're driving, you could encounter some roadways that have quite a lot of water on them. That could lead to some pretty dangerous conditions. And of course, you never drive into water if you can't see the road because you don't know what's under there and you could very easily get stuck. It doesn't take much water. Here's what's happening today. We've got the rain really focused here along the east coast, stretching all the way down the east coast of Florida. We're going to see more scattered thunderstorms around the Gulf Coast, so not quite as many in the southeast as we're seeing there on the east coast. How about tomorrow, though? A little bit more of that scattered thunderstorm activity, not quite as concentrated, but we're keeping this moist air mass. It does move a little bit farther south, and you get a little bit of a break in places like Atlanta, portions of South Carolina, Columbia. You may see some rainfall, but it is looking to improve just a bit by Tuesday. Keith?
All right, thanks, Kate. Hey, let's take you to Philadelphia, where right now it's actually pretty quiet, 73 degrees, a little bit humid out there. Showers not in the immediate vicinity of Philadelphia, but we do think more of them will pop up as the day goes on. The Northeast in general, unsettled through today and the next couple of days. The pattern not really changing that much. A lot of moisture coming up the eastern seaboard, so that's giving us a good chance of showers. So here's Philly right there. Nothing really going on. Nothing upstream either if you look to the west. So if you're in Philadelphia or anywhere around there through Jersey, Atlantic City, you're going to be fine for the next couple of hours. If you want to get outside, now's probably the time to do it. Later this afternoon, we have a better chance of those thunderstorms rolling in and being a little bit of an issue. So some thunderstorms popping out here through central and western Pennsylvania. There's an upper level low here, so that's kind of the source of some of this instability. In between that and the stationary front, relatively dry at the moment. It may not stay that way all day, but right now most of the moisture offshore, or as Kate showed you down in the Carolinas, and then the other batch of moisture into parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania. So there's the stalled front. There's an upper level disturbance. There's a bunch of arrows. We got rain coming down. It's just unstable. And through early week, we have another system that comes in. None of these systems are that strong. They're just more nuisance pattern. Classic summer. When you look at it in the computer models, all these systems are baggy, weak looking. They don't have that much moisture, but just enough to touch off these thunderstorms and showers around. Nothing severe. Just kind of keep rotating through a progressive pattern. So you take a look at our computer model forecast here through the afternoon. There's that original batch of showers, and there's the stalled out front over there. You notice it kind of fills in some of the gaps by later this afternoon. So thunderstorms flare up through upstate New York, maybe a little bit in Vermont, New Hampshire, and then moving through Jersey here as we head into the evening hours, and then probably dying off later on in the night. So again, in this little zone in here, you have your best chance of staying dry. Western and then more eastern areas have that chance of showers. Through tomorrow, we'll keep it in the mountains of northern New England for the most part, kind of that upslope flow shower activity. And then on Tuesday, there's that other weak cold front coming down from Canada. Kate?
I like that forecast technique. A lot of arrows here. A lot of arrows. Just we're going to have a lot of arrows.
A lot of moist flow. A lot of arrows. Yeah.
I love that. Well, in Vegas, all signs point to a little bit of rainfall. Yeah, we're looking at some storms out west. Now, the high chance of thunderstorms isn't in effect right now for Vegas. So if you're trying to get out, maybe you're there for a little party this weekend or maybe just a family adventure, be aware that we do have these storms hanging out through the early part of this next week. So Vegas, you've got a little bit of rain. It's back way off here to your southeast. So you don't have much in the vicinity right now, just kind of cloudy. It's kind of a nice break. It's only in the 80s. But look at this. We zoom out and look at this plethora of rainfall. It stretches from Flagstaff all the way to Vegas and then up to Cedar City. We have quite a bit as well. If you're traveling along 40 today, if you're traveling along 15 today, you are going to be seeing some downpours and you are going to maybe have to slow down your travel, maybe account for a little more time because you might see a little bit of ponding on the roads. Here's what's happening as we get into California. badly needed rain here. Check out LA. You've got a little bit of that drizzle right now. A lot of that rain moving through Bakersfield at this time. We're going to see some of this hang out through Santa Barbara through the afternoon. So not necessarily a great Saturday to be outdoors. You can stay indoors with us here on the Weather Channel. Weather Geeks coming up in about half an hour. Just a quick little reminder there. Here's what's going on with your storms. So scattered thunderstorms hanging out today. We're talking about Colorado down south through New Mexico, and we're going to continue that all the way across into California. Like I said, that's an area that you really badly need the rainfall, but you have the risk of lightning as well. So if you're planning outdoor activities, you just need to be well aware that if you hear thunder, take shelter right then. We don't want to see any more lightning incidents this year, especially during the summertime. Tuesday, we start to lighten up a little bit with the rain. More of that rain moves into northern California, actually. We keep it a little wet in New Mexico, where we've seen a tremendous amount of rainfall recently. Albuquerque has seen some flooding concerns, so we might see another 1 to 2 inches north of Las Vegas through Tuesday morning, and the flash flood watch is in effect for these spots because we just have so much rain coming down and soaking the soil. Keith?
All right, thanks, Kate. Well, storms are moving in over millions of Americans today, including the Midwest, where we could see some showers and thunderstorms. We'll take you through the timing of when those storms can move into your neck of the woods. Plus, summer, a great time of the year to take in a movie at a drive-in. I love drive-ins. We're looking at the best drive-ins in the country, and we'll show you what we found. But first, here's how weather's coming into play for some weekend events. We're going to start with the Pocono Raceway. A few showers today, thunderstorms. We showed you yesterday how they have the state-of-the-art equipment to try to dry the track, so they may need that today. How about the NFL Hall of Fame game? Football kind of kicking off. The Giants versus the Bills. That's why my weather producer put that in there. He's a New York boy. But anyways, it's going to be nice today. Temperatures in the 70s. We have a chance of an isolated thunderstorm. Probably going to be all right. And then Indianapolis, how about the State Fair? They're gorgeous today and tomorrow.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain, 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 76. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sadly, Angela's gotten used to the odor her cat leaves in the couch. She no longer smells it. Yep, she's gone nose blind. We staged an intervention to help her sister break the news.
To the left. This is exactly what your house smells like.
For real?
Yes.
Oh, you are tripping. Really?
Febreze Fabric Refresher eliminates pet odors you've gone nose blind to.
Smells good.
One of the many ways Febreze helps you and your guests. Breathe happy.
They keep us busy.
Duck fishing. You wanna go lowercase?
They keep us entertained. They keep us inspired. They keep us hopeful and happy. Keep them safe. The 8-passenger Chevrolet Traverse with the highest possible overall vehicle score for safety. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Get the latest back-to-school styles they'll wear every day. At VisionWorks, we have the largest selection of kids' frames anywhere. And right now, get 2 complete pairs of glasses for just $99, including free impact-resistant lenses. VisionWorks.
Each year, 95% of homeowners won't have a claim. That's why Allstate Claim-Free Rewards gives you money back for every year you don't have one. And why, if you're part of the other 5%, Allstate offers Claim Rate Guard, so your rates won't go up just because of a claim. matter what comes your way, your home protects you. Protect it back. Allstate Home Insurance. From an Allstate agent.
Roaches love kitchens and bathrooms. But they'll use air vents like secret passages in a medieval castle. For this house, I alternate my baits, giving them a different active ingredient every time. Who's hungry? To keep them from building immunity. They can sneak through walls, but not past science. To catch a pest, you have to think like a pest, not just in any home. In your home.
If vitamins have you at the corner of smart choice and multiple choice, come to Walgreens for help finding the one that's right for you. Like Centrum. Select products now just $9.99 with card. At the corner of happy and healthy.
Your eyes, even 10 miles away, they can see the light of a single candle. Look after them with Centrum Silver, multivitamins for your eyes, heart, and brain. Now with a new, easy-to-swallow coating.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready App and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
I'm MMA champ Chuck Liddell, and I stop things. People, problems, anything that moves. Just like Duralast brakes. They stop anything! Hey, if you use anything else, you should stop. Duralast, proven tough. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Well, welcome back. A viewer posted this video on our Facebook page. Huge hailstorms rolled through at 8 o'clock last night in Royal Oak, Michigan. That's a suburb of Detroit. An icy river of hail and rain running down this street here. Another Facebook poster commenting, this is the most hail they've seen in years. So we love to see stuff from you on Facebook. You don't have to comment and just say you don't like our suits or whatever like that. It's good if you give us some video of some of the storms. Storms move into the Midwest, to return to the Midwest through today. We have a weak little system coming down from Canada. This is going to happen over the next couple of days. None of them that strong, but touching off a few showers. So well put here, limited moisture, only scattered showers and storms through Chicago, Des Moines, St. Louis, and Indianapolis. So this is a deal where you don't need to replan what you're going to do if you're thinking about going outside. Just check ahead of time and see if there's any thunderstorms or showers around. So the jet stream kind of dug down here. Greg, you got a little fancy with this little jet stream drawing here. You could just give it a little divot, like to be precise. Bottom line is it's kind of troughed out here through St. Louis, Chicago as well. So that's giving us the alley for some of these disturbances to move down from Canada, just kind of opening things up. So that trough, if you remember, has been in place one way or another for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, because it was really cool, temperatures moderated, the trough still there. Right now giving us a few showers, just isolated stuff around. Kansas City getting hit the hardest with it. Some lightning in here as well. There's the tracking of the lightning moving on the west side of the city. Nothing strong or severe about these storms, but they're around, and that's kind of the activity we're going to see. Spatially, coverage-wise, not a ton of them. A few of them popping up. Some of them will have some lightning with it. So through tomorrow, Chicago, Green Bay, up in through parts of Wisconsin. We're going to see it. Maybe Minneapolis catches a few showers, scattered thunderstorms in there as well as this whole system kind of sinks off to the south and east. And by Tuesday, now it's draped out across Chicago, Detroit, Madison, and again, isolated showers and storms will continue on Wednesday, maybe a little heavier in Des Moines on Wednesday afternoon. Kate?
Heath, do I need to go talk to somebody, or is somebody saying mean things about your suit?
No, well, someone thought it was purple. It's just a really, really flush blue. That's all.
A flush blue. I
don't know if that's
a new one. I thought it was royal blue.
Purple, not a purple.
Not quite purple, but like maybe a blue purple.
It's only got a little, maybe a little bit.
I got your back. That's all I'm saying. I got your back.
All right,
well, Hollywood banks on the summer for their big blockbusters, but not everyone goes inside to see their favorite movie stars. Alex Wallace and Jen Carfagno talked to one of the drive-in theater owners whose establishment is getting national attention about how weather affects business.
Well, you know, summertime is a great time to go to the movies, especially if that movie is maybe playing at a drive-in theater.
You can see all your favorite stars under the stars, but good weather is crucial to enjoying this beloved slice of Americana, including the Swan Drive-In in Blue Ridge, Georgia.
And joining us now via Skype is Kathleen Setzer. She's one of the owners. And Kathleen, thanks for joining us. First of all, tell us about how the weather impacts your bottom line.
I'm really always surprised at how many people come despite the weather. I mean, the optimal would be warm and dry, but a lot of people, if they've already made their mind up or their vacation plans to go to the Swan, come out anyway. I think there are so few drive-ins around that people just want the experience, so they're willing to brave the weather.
Do you still show movies in the rain?
We do. A lot of people even like sitting in the coziness of their own vehicle with a blanket and somebody with them and watch it anyway. If you have a really, really cold winter or a lot of snow, that type of stuff, that really affects the bottom line, of course. You know, there are areas that don't have the milder seasons that we do have in the South. We do get some cold weather, but, you know, it's very rare for us to get a snowstorm or anything that's going to shut us down for 3 or 4 days. So we pretty much can just keep on going. We're full-time during the summer and then just weekends year-round. So very rarely do we have anything that will shut us down because of the weather.
Now, you guys had storm damage in, I believe it was April of 2011 that almost forced you to maybe shut things down. What happened? Can you describe it?
Well, in April 2011, there were a lot of storms in this area, and the screen got significant damage in the top right corner, tore off a lot of the panels. The screen was old. I mean, it was built in 1955, and it had a wooden structure. So when they came to repair the screen, they realized that there was structural damage to the inside. So the screen actually had to be removed, and we put up a new screen, which is steel, which will be here long after we're all dead. Without that, the Swan would have been out of business.
Wait for awesome. Totino's Pizza Rolls get you there in just 60 seconds.
Hey, pal. You ready? Can you pick me up at 6:30?
I'm here.
Too late.
I'll go for 5 minutes. Move it. Killing me. You know what, Dad? I'm good.
It may be quite a while before he's ready, but our Subaru Legacy will be waiting for him.
The longest-lasting midsize sedan in its class. Introducing the all-new Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
Only the Weather Channel drops you into nature's deadliest predicaments and asks, so you think you'd survive? Oh my God! Premiering next Sunday at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Right out of there! You weren't even on the deck!
I'm the captain of this boat. And I feel like whatever orders I give have been ignored. You're terminated. We will not be back next season.
Catch the season finale of Catching Hell tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
In the nation, the safest feature in your car is you. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving, which for you shouldn't be a problem. Just another way we put members first, because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
Do you remember the hassle of vacuuming before the Dyson Digital Motor? Before it gave the DC59 Motorhead powerful suction and perfect balance in your hand for cleaning those difficult-to-reach places? And before our direct drive cleaner head increased brush bar power by 75%, DC59 Motorhead outcleans the 5 best-selling full-size vacuums across carpets and hard floors without the hassle of a cord.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, mess with the world.
Hershey's Miniatures. Choosing is half the fun. Because there's a little something delicious for everyone. Hershey's Miniatures. Choose your own delicious.
Let's tackle all this with a splash of style. Let's go where they know what matters. Let's do modest budget, major makeover. Let's do we've got this, and a whole lot of look what we did. Then let's sit back and enjoy the view. Let's do this.
Maxwell's is now open in the Driftwood Plaza of Jupiter. Gold, silver, coins, diamonds, jewelry, paintings, and objects of art. If you don't want it or wear it, sell it to Maxwell's. We buy and sell diamonds of all sizes, clarity, and condition up to 10 carats in size and above. We have decades of experience buying and selling gold, coins, diamonds, and objects of art. Maxwell's, located in the Driftwood Plaza on US 1 in Jupiter, Florida.
Before the intervention, before I went to rehab, when it got really out of hand, I was calling out of work. I wasn't coming home. My husband and I were arguing. My responsibility to my business, to my clients, and to others just went completely out the door.
That's when we knew we had to do something. We needed to all jump in, and my son felt confident that this person could help, and he did. Since her intervention, she's an absolute delight, and I can't stop smiling when I see her.
If someone you know is struggling with drug or alcohol addiction, please call or visit us at interventionnow.com.
6. Premier Bath is the best gift I ever gave to myself.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a Hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
We'll take you to the Bahamas. You know what? That doesn't look so bad, does it? That doesn't look so bad. This is NASA.
There's an okay, NASA,
Yeah.
It has its parts where maybe you wouldn't always want a vacation there, but
Yes.
it has this awesome little resort. You can Facebook me if you want to know it. I'll tell you the name of it.
I can Facebook you?
You can,
I
because
can
I'm
just
not
ask
going to.
you.
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Out loud,
This
not
is,
on my
what is this,
microphone.
like a speakeasy?
It's a secret place.
You gotta knock
you
us
gotta have
away.
a password.
Hey, anyways, we're here to talk about Bertha, and obviously it's fine right now in the Bahamas. There's even a cruise ship there. But let's go over to our man, Dr. Greg Postel. He's going to talk to us a little bit about Bertha.
Yeah, Bertha has kind of gone through some different stages of life, I would say, Dr. Postel.
Yeah, it has. You know, this morning it seems to be getting a little bit better organized in some of the recent satellite pictures and some of the data that's coming back from the hurricane hunters, which have been flying around there. Still a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm moving toward the northwest at 21 miles per hour. That's where it is, really a long way from Florida. It's going to remain a long way from the East Coast, but it is kind of chugging its way through parts of the Caribbean and Bahamas right now. So let's have a look in the visible satellite pictures and show you what I mean when I say it's getting a little better organized. Just in the last few hours, we've seen a cluster of thunderstorms right in here that not far away from where the apparent low-level circulation is. Right here, it's a weak circulation near the ocean surface, but it's still there, and some thunderstorms now have kind of congregated near that. And so that has to be watched closely because we do expect this thing to move over some warm waters, and the upper-level environment's going to get a little bit more favorable as it continues off toward the northwest. So that should give it an opportunity to strengthen at least somewhat on that path. And as it heads toward the northwest, it's probably going to run into some showers and thunderstorm activity associated with a bunch of things, really. There's an old frontal zone here, and there's a tropical wave that's moved through. So this is not related directly to Bertha, but as Bertha comes a little bit closer to that action, it might enhance it a little bit over the Bahamas. Here's the track of Bertha that we expect to see this afternoon. It's going to soon start turning toward the north-northwest and then straight due north, we think, overnight tonight, along a heading about like that, about 400 miles to the east of the Florida coast. So you can very clearly see that direct impacts from Bertha will remain well off the east coast and probably even skirt the eastern edge of the Bahamas. Then as we head through tomorrow, it is going to move on that northeastward course, again, a long way from the coast. But notice it's got a shape here in the models that suggests that maybe it's intensifying, and that is consistent with other modeling and the sort of environment that it's going to be in. So would not be surprised to see this thing maybe get up to a high-end tropical storm, if not maybe close to a Cat 1. But again, a long way from the East Coast and on a trajectory that's going to take it over the open Atlantic, really in between the Outer Banks and Bermuda. So not likely to significantly impact anybody on its way over the North Atlantic there. And over the Pacific Ocean, what we can see right now is Invest 97E and Hurricane Iselle. These are significant systems that need to be closely monitored because guess what, guys? They're going toward the west and kind of towards Hawaii. This is the cone from Hurricane Iselle. Look, by late in the week, we have a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm in the vicinity of Hawaii. If that weren't enough, on its heels, there's another one. Invest 97L. Following it, really almost on the same path, heading toward the west. That one could get even stronger than Iselle and could also get close to Hawaii in about a week's time. So the 50th state, our 50th state, may have some close encounters with tropical cyclones coming soon. Stay tuned. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dr. Postel, getting a little busy on both sides there. Well, tonight, be sure to keep your eyes to the skies. If you're a stargazer, you're in for a pretty cool show.
Yeah, a rare conjunction of planets will provide an amazing sight in the night sky. Kelly Beatty with Sky and Telescope magazine has a preview.
You know, if you're a beginning sky gazer, it's kind of hard to tell where the stars are and where the planets are. Here's a slam dunk way to find two bright planets in the evening sky. August 3rd. The first quarter moon will be sandwiched between Saturn on the left and Mars on its right. The whole arrangement will take up about the width of your fist stretched out at arm's length. Now, Saturn and Mars look about equally bright, but that's deceiving. Mars is 110 million miles away from us right now, and Saturn is almost 1 billion miles away. It looks about as bright as Mars because it's so much bigger a planet. Check it out, and I hope you have clear skies.
All right, well, that's it for this hour. Weather Geeks is coming up next.
Yeah, we'll be back at 12:30 to talk more about Bertha and the rest of the stories. Enjoy the show.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms, high 87, chance of rain 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 76, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Long-range seasonal hurricane forecasts. Are they accurate? Do we need them? And what on earth happened to the 2013 season? Those answers right now on Weather Geeks.
Welcome back to Weather Geeks. I'm joined by Chris Warren, and today we're talking to one of the most famous seasonal tropical forecast organizations in the world, Colorado State University, and lead hurricane seasonal forecaster, Dr. Phil Klotzbach. Phil, I think the last time we saw each other was in Europe at the European Meteorological Society meeting, so it's good to see you again, and thank you for joining us at Weather Geeks.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Marshall.
Oh, happy to have you.
All right, so Dr. Klotzbach, will you get into, please, talking about the seasonal hurricane forecast, and how do you come up with them?
Yeah, well, unlike what some of our critics say, we don't wake up in the morning and look and see if we can see our shadows, and we don't throw darts at a board. We actually use a statistical approach It actually all started back in the early 1980s when Dr. Bill Gray, who was kind of the father of seasonal prediction, noted that when you had El Nino conditions, which is warmer than normal waters in the central and eastern tropical Pacific, you get fewer storms in the Atlantic. And you notice the statistical relationship worked out very well. And then it was the challenge of trying to understand physically why would something going on in the tropical Pacific impact storms in the Atlantic. And he found it was through alterations in upper level winds that increased the vertical shear, the change in wind direction with height, and tear apart the developing storms. And over time, we discovered a variety of other statistical relationships, such as between Atlantic basin water temperatures, pressures, shears, moisture parameters, things like that. And we put these parameters in combination to come up with seasonal predictions. Again, this is actually our 31st year of issuing predictions. Our first year was 1984, which I like to remind Dr. Gray, when he started issuing these forecasts, I was in nursery school.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, Phil, you guys make your initial forecast in the spring, and I know earlier this week you issued your sort of updated forecast for 2014. What are you expecting this year in your update?
Yeah, well, we're actually expecting a below average hurricane season, and that's due to a variety of factors. First of all, while earlier this year we thought we were going to have a pretty strong El Nino, it really hasn't developed as quickly as we thought it would. The waters in the eastern tropical Pacific are quite warm, but in the central part of the Pacific, they're actually only about average. However, despite the fact El Nino hasn't been as strong as we thought it might be, we've seen very harsh, detrimental hurricane formation conditions in the Atlantic. The water temperatures are cooler than normal, meaning less fuel for the developing storms. The atmospheric pressures are higher than normal, which means that basically the atmosphere is more stable. It's very, very dry. Pretty much all the data that I've looked at shows that it's one of the driest, if not the driest year on record, where reliable records probably go back to around 1950 or so. We have very high amounts of vertical shear, especially in the Caribbean Basin, which is a good predictor for the rest of the season. The shear is very high this year. It's the highest that we've seen going back all the way to about 1972 was the only year that had higher shear in the Caribbean during the month of July than has this year. So it's been the overall conditions are very harsh in the Atlantic right now.
Yeah, and for anyone that has done in this business, we know just like putting together a toy on Christmas Eve, you've got to have all the ingredients and parts together to get that toy right. Hurricanes need certain things to be in place too, and as you just heard from Dr. Klotzbach, some of that's really not in place right now.
Yeah, and Dr. Klotzbach, we talk about the accuracy of these seasonal forecasts over time?
Yeah. Certainly, obviously, people will say, well, how good are you? And I always say, well, it basically depends on how you keep score. We use a variety of different metrics. You can do things such as just simple correlations between our forecasts and the observations. What I like to talk about, too, is, well, what's your error bar? So if, say, you predict 6 hurricanes, that's your central, that's your best estimate. But obviously, the forecasts aren't perfect. So what's your average error? And so for our forecasts, the number of hurricanes, in April, it's about plus or minus 3. There's a lot of uncertainty that far in the future. By the time of our August prediction, that gets cut in half. The error bar is about plus or minus 1.5 hurricanes based on our 30 years of issuing real-time forecasts.
So, Phil, if you could get the forecast 100% correct, I mean, what would you say is the use? I mean, how are these useful?
Yeah, well, I mean, the public generally is curious. Everyone wants to know how active you think the season is going to be. And even if we can correctly predict exactly how active the season is going to be, you can't say where the storms are going to go. That's governed by mid-latitude weather, which is highly unpredictable, say more than a few days in advance. So we always stress, no matter what you predict, the key is to always be prepared and have a plan in place every year, because it just takes that one storm to make it active for you. The best example we have for that is 1992. Dr. Gray had a great forecast that year. He predicted 1 major hurricane, and there was only 1 major hurricane, but it happened to be Hurricane Andrew, which barreled into South Florida as a Category 5. So obviously, that's a great example of what these seasonal forecasts can give you useful information, but obviously from a preparation perspective, people need to be prepared the same every year, regardless of any seasonal predictions.
And Dr. Klotzbach, let's talk a little bit more about the value. And critics will say, just like that, a slow season might be predicted, but then you have Andrew. Now, is there a worry about possibly misleading the public to complacency by predicting a low season?
I don't think so. I mean, again, if anyone's actually listening to the message that we say, in pretty much every interview that we say you need to be prepared and have a plan in place every year. I don't think people tend to base their preparations for our hurricane season based off of a seasonal forecast anyway. I think that actually would be a very, very interesting research topic. I'd be very interested to actually see an actual study conducted and people given various seasonal forecasts and see if they actually would react differently, because if there was actually a significant change, then we may want to basically kind of change the way that we message. But with all of our press release and all of our forecasts, we do emphasize the fact that this is just a prediction for the Atlantic Basin. They're certainly not perfect. And even if they are, we can't say where the storms are going to go. So people need to be prepared the same every year.
Yeah, and you guys do put disclaimers on your websites. One of the things I wanted to mention, I was looking into this a bit. Your approach is a statistical technique, but I have seen that people like the European Center and others are using more dynamical approaches. How do those compare to what you're doing?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of big ones that do these seasonal forecasts. The UK Met Office as well as the ECMWF. The UK Met Office forecast is put out to the general public, and anyone can go pull that down. The ECMWF forecast is not publicly released, so generally most people don't know what they're saying, because unless you're one of the member states that gets the forecast, we don't actually see what they predict. Those dynamical models can issue skillful forecasts as well. They issue their forecasts primarily based off of sea surface temperatures, and then they take the initial condition sea surface temperatures and then integrate them forward in their models. At this point, they're probably about, skill-wise, probably fairly comparable. I think at some point, probably in the future, a hybrid dynamical statistically dynamically hybrid-based model may be the most skillful way to go, perhaps a few years in the future.
Dr. Klotzbach, thank you very much, and we're going to hear from you a little bit later. Next on Weather Geeks, meteorologist Brandon Belinsky from FEMA joins the discussion. Plus, we geek out when Weather Geeks returns.
Man, these cheesy bread dogs are incredible.
Real good.
The cheese is baked right into the bun.
You know, in this case, it really is what's on the outside that counts.
Maybe that phrase, "it's what's on the inside that counts," isn't true.
I mean, I've only been judging books by their covers.
Really?
I only read the cover.
Oh, you don't read what's inside?
No, I could read 2, 3 covers. Cover to cover. Cover and cover.
Count on the cheesy goodness of the new Cheesy Bread Dogs. They're the perfect match for any of our 25 shakes. This is how you Sonic.
If you take multiple medications, a dry mouth can be a common side effect. That's why there's Biotene. It comes in oral rinse, spray, or gel, so there's moisturizing relief for everyone. Biotene, for people who suffer from dry mouth.
We fight a war against every foul pest that haunts your home. Backed by 85 years of experience and the strongest guarantee in the business, it's not exactly a fair fight. Not here, not now, not in my house. Terminix.
We have pinpointed orchestra which we felt needed further work.
When you need new brakes, Pep Boys Precision Match is the best brake service to make stopping as smooth as humanly possible. Trust the boys to get you there.
Monday morning on America's Morning Headquarters, they flew right through the eye of a Cat 5 hurricane and somehow survived. Now, 25 years later, the crew is back on board that same plane just to share the story behind that unforgettable flight with us. It's Monday morning on AMHQ, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a Hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
sit idle, wondering how we're going to build a better truck. We get out there and walk a mile, thousands of miles, in the footsteps of the guys we build trucks for. The groundbreaking Ram Heavy Duty with 30,000 pounds of towing and 850 pound-feet of torque.
Progressive Insurance here. Ever since we launched Snapshot, my life has been positively great. What's Snapshot, you ask? Only a revolutionary tool that can save you big time. Just plug it in, and the better you drive, the more cash you'll stash. Switching to Progressive can already save ye $500. Snapshot could save ye even more. Meet maiden, bringeth to me thine spiciest wings of buffalo.
Hershey's Miniatures. Choosing is half the fun. Because there's a little something delicious for everyone. Hershey's Miniatures. Choose your own delicious.
Welcome back to Weather Geeks as we discuss the value of seasonal hurricane forecasts. And earlier we talked about the forecast itself. Now, the messaging, Dr. Shepard.
Yeah, I'm happy to have Brandon Belinsky from FEMA Region 4, Hurricane Program Manager here in the Atlanta area. You've known about these seasonal forecasts. They're out there. What does FEMA think of this? Do you make decisions based on these seasonal forecasts? Tell us your perspective on it.
That's a great point. A lot of times with emergency managers, we have to take these forecasts and say, so what? How do we use this? How do we apply it? And a lot of times it's nice. It comes out right before the season starts. And it's kind of a reminder, hey, hurricanes are out there. They're coming. So we message it that way to the